Hello, everyone. Welcome to our FemCity Monday business class. I'm Lynn Pelzer, the FemCity COO, and today we have a great topic for you. This is a unique topic and a very important topic that I know there are many women that are in FemCity and beyond that are kind of thinking about how they're going to do this because they're moving on to something else. They're thinking about contemplating, wanting. So we have an amazing expert today with us. The topic is strategy for corporate exit. She knows because she's done it. And our teacher is Julie Allison. Julie, before I turn it over to you, I want to just tell people a little bit about you, and then I'm going to turn it over to you. Julie's brilliant. I love Julie. We've gotten to know each other, and she's just awesome. I'm going to tell you, if you don't know her, you need to. She's probably one of the top 3 femmes I hear the most about in the back end of people telling me how brilliant she is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So Julie works with driven women to crystallize their decisions and choose bold action to maximize their career lives through one-on-one coaching, group coaching, workshops, and retreats. She's also the president of FemCity West Hartford and a FemCity Founder Circle member. So thank you, Julie.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. And, my goal with this class is, as I'm going to go through, I have some slides, but I'm going to go through my story and my lessons learned as I go through this. So you'll walk away really understanding what I would have done differently and the things that I did that really worked out well. So I'm hoping that, you'll walk away with a kind of some great items for your toolkit if this is something that you're considering doing. And then obviously, if you want to talk with me, coffee chats all the way, we can get into more details. So
awesome. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to just add your slides there and I'm going to remove myself. So
okay. And then I just advance them by clicking. Oh yeah, I see it. Got it. Okay, perfect. So thank you everyone that's here live or watching the recording. I'm going to be talking about the strategy for corporate exit. So just to tell you a little bit about myself, Lynn already gave you some information, but ultimately I have been a nurse for 30 years and most of those years in leadership as a nurse manager, as a nurse executive in the corporate world. And in 2022, I made the bold decision, very bold because it was scary, to leave that corporate world and commit to my passion, which is coaching driven women, helping them to just create these absolutely incredible lives and make hard decisions. So my mantra is you decide, and everybody that knows me knows I have it on everything. I've got it on mugs and pens and hats and magnets because that really is the power that we have within ourselves. It's an immense power to decide. And where we are in our life right now is just a series of decisions that we've made that got us here. And that is what will get us to the future. So I work with my clients around deciding. So I made that move in 2022. And so what I'm going to do today is talk to you about my story and my lessons learned and the things that I did well that I would do again. But there's a lot of things that I wish I had done differently. And so I'm going to teach you so that if you decide that you are going to leave your corporate job, you'll have some of these tools. So as Lynn mentioned, I'm the founder of Julie Allison Executive Coaching, president of FemCity West Hartford. We launched that chapter over a year ago and it's growing beautifully. I'm on the board for FemCity International. And one of the things that I also do is I'm a volunteer for Healthcare Business Women's Association. I'm an advisor and a program excellence manager. And that was a little piece of what kept me, it fills my corporate desire, right? Instead of being in corporate, I actually get to work with women in corporate to help them grow as leaders. So that's one lesson learned that I'll tell you about. So the first thing I want to talk about is really knowing your why. If you are going to leave your corporate job that you probably worked really hard to get to that level, really know and evaluate what your why is. So your why could be, and I have friends that have left the corporate world, their why was that they were so burnt out that it was negatively affecting their health to the point of almost dying. And I'm not exaggerating. Like that's could be someone's why. My why was that I felt that it was put on my heart by God, the universe, what have you, for me to inspire and help women and men. Actually, I have several male clients now too, really live the life that they want to live. That was on my heart. And I felt like I had a responsibility to do something about that because it was placed there for a reason. And so that was my why. It was, I have to go and do this because I don't want to be sitting in a rocking chair at 80 or 90 years old thinking, what would have happened if I had actually followed that passion and followed that calling I had? So really understanding your why. And part of what you can do in this, if you don't already know, oh, I know what my passion is really understand what's most important to you at this point in your life. Really understanding what fires you up. What are you passionate about? What can you see yourself waking up every day to just be so excited to do this thing? So that is definitely number one. In this area, in this arena, I did really well. I knew, like I said, I knew what I wanted to do. And just as a little caveat, I did not leave my corporate job because I hated it. I left it because I had manifested, and that's one thing if you know me, know is I'm a very skilled and master manifester. And I had manifested the exact position I had gotten to before I left. I wanted to be a director. I wanted to be a nurse executive. I wanted to lead a large team, all the things. And I did it. And I said, okay, well, now what? Right. So that was my why, is I had reached that pinnacle of success in my mind. And I had this passion. So know your why. And because this is not an easy journey, being corporate's hard. Being an entrepreneur is also hard. You have to choose your hard, and understanding what your why is strongly. That is a piece that absolutely will help you do it day in and day out, even when it's difficult. Then the second thing, educate yourself. So while you're still in your corporate world, there's a lot of things that I would suggest that you do. I did many of them, but not all. But I would definitely educate yourself on, okay, you've chosen what it is that you want to do and what your why is. So now educate yourself on how to start a business, how to create a business. I did some of that. I should have done more, I will tell you. And if you're a femme, you have access to, like, I think 20 modules of launching your business. Take advantage of that. You can also take advantage of, your local chamber. I know in Connecticut, there's a small business women's community that will help you and even offer some grants. I didn't tap into any of that. I wish I had. And as I go, I'm continuing to learn every day. So, so educate yourself. I also hired a coach for myself, someone who was a coach in the same realm, but was like 6 years ahead of me. And I learned a ton from her. And I will say that my lesson learned there was to be very discerning. She was a great coach, but be very discerning about where you choose to invest your money as you're educating yourself. Because when you're first starting, everything seems like a shiny object. You're like, oh, I need to learn that and I need to do that. Like, I paid $2,000 for Amy Porterfield's digital course academy. When I first started my business, I didn't even have content. But I was so gung ho that I did that. So just be discerning, educate yourself, find out what resources are available to you. And then, knowledge is power. So you'll be able to go through, putting together your business, knowing that you've done your research. This one's huge. Okay. Find your crew. So, and FemCity is my crew. I'm just going to tell you that straight out. Like, it's my community that I'm building in West Hartford. It is all the virtual women across the US, Canada, Mexico, Cayman Islands, Puerto Rico, like, you name it. FemCity has become my crew. So, find your crew and do that while you're still in your corporate world, because I did that. I started with FemCity as soon as I started my business. I was still working in my corporate job for a year and a half since I started my business. And I would need to surround myself with incredible entrepreneurial spirit women that were supportive. And that's what FemCity is, as we know. I had a wonderful crew in my corporate world. My peers, my VP, but they were not entrepreneurs. They didn't have that spirit. I needed to be surrounded by that. So I highly recommend that you find your crew. And like I said, this is mine. Then here's a big one. This is something that I did not do. I thought, well, I have this incredible network of people that are going to be my clients. They all respect me. They know me. They love me. All the things. So many people, right? Peers, coworkers from when I used to work at the hospital, huge network. However, they were not my ideal clients. And that was a huge lesson learned. So, if you are thinking about starting your own business, really think about who it is that you will serve in whatever business you're going into, whether it's coaching, marketing, all the things. Really understand who your ideal clients are so that you can start connecting with them. Like I said, I had a huge network, and I kind of was like, where is everybody? I'm putting together all this great content, this great coaching programs, these great retreats, and it was like kind of crickets. So I had to revamp my mindset, which was fine, and really get out and go meet people who um, wanted the services that I'm providing and were looking for, you know, a recommendation or some help in getting unstuck and getting through their crossroads and going through transitions and really making big decisions. And that has made a huge difference. So definitely recommend doing that in the beginning. Lynn, are there any questions yet? Okay, I'll keep going. Okay, then this is a lesson learned that I had. And I want you to think about this. This isn't something you necessarily would do prior to leaving your corporate job, but it's something that I think is really important to highlight. When I left my corporate job, I, for about a year, did not acknowledge all the skills and all the things that I had learned and all my superpowers that I had that made me an amazing nurse executive. I kind of drew a line in the sand. This is what I tell people. Drew a line in the sand. I was like, this is Julie Allison, corporate. And now this is Julie Allison, entrepreneur, business owner, executive coach, and business strategist. And I kind of left it behind intentionally. And I still don't really know why I did that. However, a year later, I started to really think, well, my goodness, there were so many things I was incredible at in my executive world, in the corporate world. And so I started to incorporate those things back into my business. Things like how, strategic I am, how I bring people together to and inspire them to move forward. I did that in the hospital setting. I did it in the corporate setting, and now I'm doing it in my coaching and in FemCity and in my You Decide community. I also am awesome at helping people with their personal branding, not from like a brand strategist perspective, but to understand who they are and the fact that even in the corporate world, your personal brand is part of your professional brand. And so there's a work that I've been doing there. So really just understanding that what you've done in your corporate world and what you've done in your jobs going, all these years, there are so many really great nuggets that you're going to want to keep with you and leverage as you go into your own business. And so the last thing I want to talk about is, like I said in the beginning, right? I told you that I felt I had a calling to do this work. This is my passion. This is what I want to wake up and do every day. And so my thought here is I want you to think about not having any regrets. If you're watching this, it means that you either love me and just enjoy listening to me, or this topic resonated with you and you said, I want to hear about what this could potentially look like. That means you have a nugget on your heart of something that you probably want to do. I'm going to encourage you to do it. This is not a dress rehearsal. We do not get to do this particular life over again, even if you believe in, that we have many lives. This one particular life is not a dress rehearsal. So think about yourself sitting in your chair at 80 or 90 years old. And are you going to be thinking, well, what if I had made the jump? What if I had started that business? What if I had followed my passion? Where would I be now? I don't want you to have regret. So what I would love to do is support you if this is something that you're looking to do. I can help you go through all of these steps prior to leaving your corporate job so that like I said, all the lessons learned that I learned after the fact, you don't have to deal with. You can start fresh and really, good to go. The last thing is mindset. again, this isn't, leaving corporate and starting your own business is not for the faint of heart at all. And so surrounding yourself with people that will support you, that will lift you up when you say to them, I'm going to apply for another corporate job because this is too much for me. And I probably think that maybe 4 times a month. Have your crew that's going to say to you, oh, no, no. Oh, no, no, ma'am. You're going to show up and serve. That's what Violet says. Show up and serve, show up and serve. And so, surround yourself with those people that will be supportive of you, and just know your why, believe in yourself. And it really is a beautiful thing to have your own business, be your own boss, make your own times, create your own stuff. It's beautiful, but it's a lot. So surround yourself with people that will be lifting you up, cheering you on. And I'm here if you need any help. So I hope that was helpful, and that you have some things you can walk away with if this is the journey that you choose. Oh, I can't hear you, Lynn.
Thank you for that. There's a couple questions. Can we shoot some questions to you?
Yes, please.
We do. Okay. I just on the last piece you said about mindset and surrounding yourself. I loved that you said surrounding yourself with people, because sometimes we can do mindset work ourselves, but we need someone else to just remind us when we're slipping out of it. It's not the easiest thing to always stay on top of that. So having that, which comes back to your find your crew that you said, like it's more important than people realize. You can't go it alone.
Right. Yes. And again, that is a huge piece. And it can be very isolating to be a new entrepreneur because you are doing everything yourself. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So when you find people that are on a similar journey with you, that's beautiful. And also surround yourself with people that are way ahead of you, because that is like success leaves clues. And if you have the right crew, those women or men that are way ahead of you, they're going to want to help you. They're going to want to pull you up to where they are. It's not about competition. It's about collaboration and making each other more successful and better. There's abundance mindset. There's enough for everybody. So, if you have the right people, they're going to help pull you up.
Right. Thank you. And you got a thank you smiley face in the comments there too. But a question. So coming back to right at the beginning when you talked about your why, I think for some people it becomes glaringly obvious, like you said about health, or if you're in tune with listening like you are to this nudge that you had.
Yeah.
But do you have any, I guess like a little bit of process or something, or questions people ask themselves when they're trying to figure out their why? Because this is something we hear about, your why, right? But is there questions or a little process people could go through to try and solidify, what is my why that I got to keep coming back to when it gets hard?
Yeah. So if you truly are not sure, which I will tell you that that's usually not the case. Like you might not be able to articulate it right now. Someone might not be able to, but if they're asked the right questions and they are doing the internal inquiry, they're going to realize what it is. So for me, for my clients, it's what are your core values? And that word is kind of overused, but what is most important to you right now in your life? What is most important to you? What fires you up? What are you passionate about? What is something that you would fight for? What is something you would fight against? What do you know you don't want to do? Because we are so good at being able to say, oh, I don't want this and I don't want that and I can't stand this. Well, write those things down. Don't feel like, oh, I'm being negative. Excuse me, write them down, because then the opposite of that is what you do want. Right? If you're not able to really articulate what I do want, you can certainly articulate what you don't. So
that's smart.
Yeah, there's several different exercises, but again, it is very much about exploring that internal inquiry, and really allowing yourself some time to think about it, right? Especially when you're working in a busy corporate environment, you're running from one meeting to the next, even if you're remote, it still is a lot. Really allow yourself that time to have that self-reflection. You know, do a meditation, put on some relaxing music, put some essential oils in your diffuser, and really, you know, you have to like kind of shed that the like angst and the tightness is the best way I could describe it, that we're,
Mhm.
you know, we're holding on to this control of this thing. And it takes a bit to like let it go so that you can then listen to your internal voice. So yeah.
That was amazing. I love that you said, think about what you don't want. Because you're right, it's the articulating it. Like we want to have this thing, we can write it out and I can just read
Mhm.
that off, but sometimes it is hard to really articulate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would help. Okay. And then you talked about connecting and networking. And
Yes.
I found that really curious too, that you have this giant network and you've done all these things, you know, all these people, and they seem like they would be in the area in which you're going to be now stepping into
Right.
being an entrepreneur. But it's then finding new circles of people that that know your ideal clients or are your ideal
Right.
clients, right? So like,
Right. Yeah.
yeah, no, go ahead.
It's both of those things. And um, you know, there's a gentleman at the chamber, my local chamber that I attend, and every meeting, twice a month we meet. Every meeting, he says, I want everybody remember that no one came into this networking meeting with a shopping cart, right? However, every person here knows an average of 200 people. And
Mhm.
so when you get to know, like, and trust each other, just like we do in Fem City, I'm doing it at the chamber as well. Um, you're going to be top of mind for people when someone says, "Oh, you know what? I'm thinking about making a career change, or I'm feeling really stuck, or I'm getting divorced and I'm not exactly sure what my future is going to look like." They're going to be like, "Oh, bless you." They're going to say, "I've got a woman for you. You need to talk to Julie Allison. She offers a free 30-minute session." So, and the other, you know, it's about getting the word out there. But again, it's like, I know the word networking sometimes has a negative connotation. It's really
Mhm.
about connecting. You
Yeah.
know, it really is about connecting, because you can hand a business card to somebody and that doesn't mean anything. It's, you know, having the conversations and continuing to show up and, you know, genuinely caring about the people around you. That's what makes the difference.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And, you know, just as an overall, something that I'm taking away from this, and I'm sure people that are listening are too, is that the strategy isn't I quit my job today and then I go figure it all out
No,
and I'll be making a gajillion dollars, you know, 3 months
no.
from now. And it's this planning ahead while you're still, you
Yes.
know, doing what you're doing. That takes time. Even the networking, like that really takes time for those
Yeah.
relationships to build. It's not go once, twice, you know, even 3 times
Right.
and then people are starting to introduce you to other people and now you're getting a little bit outside of the corporate world. Like this kind of what
Right.
I'm getting from you is like be patient a little bit, know that it's
Yeah.
going to take a while and that strategy, it's not a short, you know, it is a long game, but the beginning part of it is you got to get it going, step by step, and just
Right.
keep being patient. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, you know, we aren't very good at being patient, generally speaking, if you're a driven woman, right? However, if you are able to map out, okay, here's what the next year is going to look like, right? Or whatever period of time, but let's just say a year. What am I going to do for in month 1, month 2, month 3, so that you're building this? And
Mhm.
it's doable because you're taking it in chunks, but you're being very intentional about what you're doing to then get to the point where you're like, okay, I've saved up X for my nest egg so that I can, you know, I because I know that not going to hit the ground running with replacing um my salary. And you'll have your website and you'll have your connections and you'll have your support and you'll have your plan, and you'll probably already have started doing what you're doing in your business, just on a, you know, part-time scale.
Mhm. Well,
And
thank
that's very
you.
empowering to have that plan.
Yeah, and thank you for being like really open and honest about your journey,
Yeah,
the stuff you
I'm
would do
still on it.
differently. That's how we learn from each other, right? Yeah,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yes.
Julie, where can people find you if they want to
Yes.
reach out to you, book a coffee date, learn more?
Yep. So I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook. So I'm Julie Allison Decides on Instagram. I also have a website, julieallison.com. And yeah, I would love to, I love coffee chats, 100%, love them. And you can find my link on in my Instagram, in my link in bio. And then also if you're considering leaving your corporate job or anything that I talked about today resonated with you, I also offer a 30-minute free discovery call so you could see if working with me might be the right next step for you.
Excellent. All right. Thank you for that. All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us and listening in. Reach out to Julie. Get to know her. She's awesome. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you.
Bye.